how this one guy changed my life. All right, so I'm going to share with you a fun story, at least fun for me. But remember, I was born in Maine. All right, I was raised on an island off of Portland, Maine. So yeah, I take a boat back and forth to school and whatnot. Um, we weren't getting all the hip stuff in terms of all the modern amenities that was going on around the rest of the country. Never mind the rest of the world. We just, we're always last to know. But anyway, so when my dad split, he ultimately moved to Washington D.C. And then my mom moved in so into Portland, Maine. I left the island, lived with my dad for a year or so, and then my dad moved to D.C. My mom left the island and moved in to the place that my dad was renting. And then my mom met some guy, probably 20 years her senior, and we moved in with him, my brother and my sister, to his house in Cape Elizabeth. And it was getting lots of trouble. I mean, I was already getting drinking well before then. And like I said, I think I told you, like when I was in 8th grade, we went to the dance, and we were getting drunk as skunks already before the dance. I remember puking on this girl and whatnot. We had a Nathan Clifford Elementary School was up the street. We'd have these field parties, and I remember losing my glasses. We had literally just got my glasses like that day, and I lost them because I got drunk. I was like, not even in 9th grade at that stage. Anyway, so by the time my dad moved to D.C., I was up to no good. My mom reminded me last time I saw her that I had been arrested at least once, if not twice. And her husband, or not her husband, it was her husband later, but her boyfriend was an attorney, and he was able to get me out of trouble. But to my chagrin, my mom said it'd be best if I moved in, D.C. with my dad. And I was like, I don't want to move with my dad. She goes, well, yeah, you're going to need to, because basically you're getting a lot of trouble. So I'm not going to say I was kicked out, but kind of kicked out. And my dad was cool with it because he's all by himself. So we moved down to Silver. Ultimately, initially my dad wanted me to go to Eastern High School, right off South Capitol Street, if memory serves, and that wasn't going to work. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So anyway, he moved to the inner suburbs of Silver Spring, Maryland, and that's where we lived for the next 3 years in his little duplex at Silver Spring. Anyway, so I started meeting some people in class and whatnot, and I met this guy named Timmy who had just recaptured whatever it is on Facebook, which is pretty cool, man, because Tim was such a good guy. Very much enjoyed hanging out with him, and I haven't talked to him since I was 18, 19 years old, and it just reminded me. So Tim and I were I can't remember what it was. We're going to like the Wheaton Mall, or Wheaton Plaza, or something like that. And we're sitting outside we're sitting outside of Little Caesars, gonna get pizza. And remember, I'm just a kid from Maine, all right? So I don't know all the cool stuff, man. I don't know what's going on in music or anything like that. I just know I always liked metal. I like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, and all that stuff. That's all I knew. Well, it turns out there's this different type of music that you had to be either Boston or DC or Los Angeles or something, or Chicago to hear. And we didn't get any of that crap up in Maine. I mean, there was no internet back then. I mean, there's nothing like that. So I'll never forget, he put on his tape deck they had in his car. I think it was like a cream colored white Chevelle or something like that. He had 4-door. I just remember that. And there's a band called Void, and the song was "Who Are You." I will never ever forget. Now again, I always like heavy metal. I remember the first time I heard Black Sabbath, I was like, oh man, it just freaking blew me away. Just doing some chicken here, and he put on this band called Void. Who Are You? The song "Who Are You" by Void out of DC. And I just remember sitting there like, what the hell is this? I was like, it just literally, my brain exploded in joy, pure joy. Who Are You by Void. And I said, I want more of that. You know what I'm saying? Imagine this way how freaking crackheads feel about crack and freaking meth and all that stuff. I said, I need more of that. And then he put on Minor Threat. I forgot the name of the album, Black Sheep or something like that. And I was like blown away. And I said, I want more of this. And from then on, because I didn't like there's a lot of punk stuff which I couldn't stand. It's just too whiny to me. But I became like a hardcore kid. I still like metal. I still like all kinds of metal bands and stuff. But I just became a hardcore kid in high school because I just like this makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And I'll never forget going back to Maine and bringing some of this music back and stuff. And people were like, what the hell is that? I said, I know. But they didn't like it so much. They liked that was the 80s where the pop rock was taking off. That horrible, just a horrible time. It just, gives me the shivers. Shiver me timbers to think about how bad the music was. Anyway, so long story short. So, we go to all these shows and stuff and just had a blast. When I was in the Army, we'd go to all kinds of shows down in Rochester and Syracuse, just freaking crush. I mean, I had this Mexican-American guy who gave me a band from a band called Carnivore, which a guy named Pete Steele was on there, who used to write a couple songs for Agnostic Front, and it's just like, damn. And he was from Texas. And I said, damn, I never heard those guys. It was fantastic. Anyway, and we go see like Nuclear Assault, all these bands when I was in the Army. Suicidal Tendencies, it was just a blast, dude. Then when I go back to DC on occasion, we go see some shows and whatnot. One of my friends in the Army was from DC, so we go see some shows. And anyway, long story short, so I get out of the Army, and I go to college at George Mason. I meet my better half at that stage, and we're dating. And unfortunately, I drove a lot of ladies away because I always said I want a big family. I always was jealous of people with big families. But my wife has, she comes from 1 of 9. She's 1 of 9, old school Irish Catholic. So I guess when I said, hey, I want a big family, probably should introduce myself first. But I said, hey, I want a big family. You want a big family? It wasn't quite like that, but pretty doggone close. So I didn't turn her off. But then I said, hey, me and this guy are going to go to this show down in D.C., the old 930 Club, see this band from Boston called Tree. Would you want to go? And Charlotte said, yeah, I'll go with you. And so me and this guy were dancing, and Charlotte took one of her friends, and they were sitting at the bar, and they weren't doing much. They didn't like the music. Charlotte doesn't like my music to this day. And then her friend said, I think Josh is on the stage. And Charlotte turned around, and she saw me stage diving off the stage of the old 930 Club. And that would have normally drove a person away right there, knowing that I want a big family. And I'm stage diving, and Charlotte still kept with me. And so just think about it. If it wasn't for Timmy introducing me to Void, I never would have gotten a hardcore. And if I never would have got a hardcore, I never would have taken Charlotte to go see Tree. And if I didn't take Charlotte to go see Tree at the 930 Club, we might have went our separate ways, because obviously that didn't drive her away. But if I took her to go see The Cure or something like that, I would have literally jumped off, not off the stage, but jumped off the top of the Empire State Building after slitting my wrist, diving into a pool of freaking great white sharks that are starving Marvin. And all because this one guy, Timmy, introduced me to the band Void in 1985 or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure it was 1985. And if he did not, we would not have got married. We would not have 4 kids. And we wouldn't, who knows what would happen to old buddy Josh. I wouldn't be here on YouTube. So anyway, Timmy, you're the man. God bless you. It's freaking great to reconnect. It's good, man. It's good to revisit with old friends and acquaintances. It's fun. And it's crazy how we can do this now. Because back in the day, you couldn't do it, man. Back in the day, there was no internet. There's no phone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, I didn't have natural... Right there. I grill probably 5 times a week, man. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, we didn't have any of this crap. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have any meat. We didn't have any we never had a gas grill. Hell, we didn't have a charcoal grill going on. Hell, we didn't have a TV or a car till I was like 10 years old. It's just good to appreciate from where you've come, to be grateful for what you've got, and just give all glory to God, because God can, as much as God, to whom much is given, much is to whom much is given, much is required as well. It's not there's a bird out there. No, a bird, a deer. There's something out there in my woods. I don't know if y'all can see that out there. Yeah, you're not going to see it, but there's something running around. Finney's going to go nuts. What you got, man? Yeah, trying to get my peaches off my peach tree. Rat thinks. God bless you. See ya.